one of the hardest things that I work with on both myself and with clients is getting committed. I mean, fully committed and staying consistent no matter what comes up. And this is the one thing I hear from women over and over again. It's like, I know what to do. I know the steps I need to take, but for some reason, I just can't get committed. I cannot go all in. I can't be consistent. What is wrong? And this is what I'm talking about today. I'm going to be sharing my 3 actionable steps to get fully committed and go all in. Because when you're able to do that, you are able to achieve breakthroughs in your life. You're able to get results that you've never gotten before. And my thing is like, wouldn't it be amazing to just be able to live in breakthrough all the time? So that's what I'm talking about today. It's all about making faster, stronger decisions, committing, and going all in. So I hope you're excited. If we haven't met before, my name is Tanessa. I am a life coach, and I am here to help guide you through this with actionable strategies that really work. So the 3 steps that I'm going to be talking about today are actually fully outlined in a guide that I've created. I'll talk about it more in the end, but if you want this like written out with like action steps and like things to do and tasks, you can go to tanessashears.com/code and you can get this free guide that explains everything I'm going to talk about in a lot more detail. But let's get started. So there are 3 actionable steps, but where we often get smart is we know like, hey, I'm smart. Why the heck am I not able to do this, right? And we know that if it was just about the foods we ate or the exercise we had, or if it was just about those kind of things, the hows, the band-aids, the solutions that seem on the surface, it was just about really taking action all the time, we'd have what we wanted to have. We'd have the results that we have, but we're not. We're not getting that. So we know that it goes a little bit deeper than that. And these are the 3 steps that I've recognized not only in my life that make the biggest difference, but in the life of my clients. So grab a pencil or a pen, take some notes. We are ready to get started. So how I learned about all of this was a couple of years ago when I had really taken interest in switching to whole foods, watching what my exercise was, and deciding to drop, the last 15 pounds that had kind of been hanging on for a little while. And I was just, not feeling that great. And I wanted to do this, but I knew what to do. I mean, I have a bachelor's of science in kinesiology. I have nutrition certificates. I am a certified personal trainer. I'm a kinesiologist. I know what I needed to do to get there. But for some reason, when the weekend rolled around, I'd fall off track, or I'd overdo it on my, cheat night, or there was just something in me that was letting me slip and make decisions to not stick to the plan. And I couldn't figure out what that was until I did a lot of reading and research and practice and trial and error. And that is one thing that I am passionate about, is trial and error and figuring out solutions so that I can share them with you. So let's talk about the actionable strategies first. So number 1 was I needed to learn how to make decisions from my future, not from who I am now. So here's what normally happens. We like to make decisions and we like to be really reactive about them. So we feel like an urge comes up to eat a donut, we eat it. An urge comes up to not, stay productive at work and to check our phones, we do it. An urge comes up to check our email, we do it. And we're always in this state of reacting, meaning we get the urge to do something and we just follow it, like blindly follow it. But what I learned was when I'm making decisions like that, I'm always making them from how I feel now in my emotional state that I'm in, whether that's bored, frustrated, tired. Oh, we like to use tired as an excuse all the time. Overwhelmed, stressed out, busy. This is where we like to make our decisions from. So whatever makes that feeling go away right now will work. So meaning, if I wanted to lose that 15 pounds, but I was feeling overwhelmed from maybe a long day, or I was feeling tired, and I knew that donut would make that feeling less big, and it would make it feel better. So if I was always making decisions based on changing how I wanted to feel in the moment, I was never going to get the results I wanted. So I realized that I needed to start making decisions from the future. So I asked myself, what decisions would I be making if I was already 15 pounds lighter? So I pictured that version of me that was 15 pounds lighter. And I was like, what decision would she make in this moment? And I know for a fact, if I was being offered a donut at work, or if I was, being offered food that didn't match my plan, I would say, well, if I was 15 pounds lighter right now and I had done all of the steps I needed to do in order to get there, what kind of decision would I be making? And the answer becomes very clear, because here's the thing, the decisions that add up over time are what get you to your goal. So we need to be making decisions consistent with that future version of ourselves. So if I knew I wanted to drop 15 pounds, I needed to be making decisions like the version of me that was already down 15 pounds. And what really helped that was to take, 10 minutes and a piece of paper and do a thought download and a belief download. Like, if I was 15 pounds lighter than now, what would I believe? And I would believe things like, I am the type of person that prioritizes my well-being over my emotional health or over my emotional urges in the moment. I would be the type of person that brings her lunch ahead of time. I would be the type of person that plans what I'm going to eat the next day and sticks to it. I would be the type of person that has healthy food in the fridge so I can make a good choice. I would be the type of person that goes to all of my workouts. You see what I mean? I really want you to get in the headspace of when you are at that future version of you that is achieving the goals you want to be achieving, when you are already in that place where it has already happened, how are you thinking? What do you believe? And then when you are faced with a choice, you just ask, what would she do? What would she do to achieve these goals? And you literally have someone that you already know has achieved that result telling you exactly what you need to be doing. You just have to ask that future version of you, but first it takes getting very clear on what you would believe, how you would think, and how you would act had you already achieved that result. I cannot tell you how much this has helped me in so many areas of my life, from growing a business to being in a marriage to losing that last 15 pounds to changing my entire way I think about food and fuel. Is I really had to identify with, like, who am I going to be at the end of this process and what kind of decisions would she make? So that is action step number 1. You need to start making decisions from your future that are planned and intentional and not reactive to the emotion you're feeling in the moment. So that's number 1. Action strategy number 2, to get fully committed, go all in, and have this be the last time you start all over again, is to keep it consistent and simple. So here's the mistake we make. We like to set a goal, whether that be, honestly, grow a business, work on, getting a raise at your job, or losing 15 pounds. And we like to make these elaborate plans where we think we have to know the how. We think we have to know exactly how we got where we are now, step by step by step by step. And if you don't know every step, then what's the point? You're really just looking, you're out there on the internet Googling, like, how can I get this result? What do I need to do? What are the steps? What comes after that? And what comes after that? But I want you to think about any result you've achieved in your life right now. How about even just the career you have right now, or the relationship? When you started out, you had no idea all the things that would go into ending up where you are today, but looking back now, you can see the how, but you didn't have the roadmap to begin with. It is something that you had to discover along the way. So if we can relate this back to that idea of me wanting to drop 15 pounds at the time, I focused on what I needed to do to create results in the next 24 hours. Yes, I had long-term goals. Yes, I had a plan of how I'd ideally like to get there, but I didn't know what the how would look like. Because at that point, you don't really know what foods are going to work. You don't know what exercise plan is going to work. You don't know all of these things ahead of time. And by thinking that you need to know the exact how of how to get to your end goal, it will freeze you up. I see so many women flail and falter and try and then not make any progress at all because they think they have to know every step of what happens on the journey. I always like to focus on this. Why don't we just decide what's happening tomorrow? Are you going to work out? What are you going to eat? How much are you going to eat? What time are you going to eat at? Let's just be consistent with tomorrow. How are you going to get results tomorrow? What do you need to do? Because when you achieve a goal, a small goal, you conquer tomorrow, you conquer today. That is when the next step in the journey opens up. So a good example is some people have to try a couple different styles of eating until they find the one their body likes best. So maybe they do try to, maybe add more greens in, or they reduce their carbohydrate content, or they change up the types of fats they're eating, or they add more cardio in, or they add more strength training in. But here's the thing, until you implement one of those choices, look at your results and see if how they worked, then you won't be able to make your next one. So part of the whole process of keeping it simple is making the next choice, seeing how that pans out, and then making your next decision from there, and knowing that the roadmap and the how is going to unfold for you along the way, and trusting in the process, and knowing that by deciding in the next day from future you on a simple plan will keep you so much more consistent than if you were to just try to plan out the entire journey bit by bit, because all that does is set you up for disappointment when it doesn't go as you planned, when you're not able to follow this exact elaborate plan that you've set out for the next 6 months of your life, day by day, week by week. What if you just focused on the next day, keeping it simple? This third strategy I want to talk to you about today is implementing things quickly. So one of the things that I always like to share with my clients and I look for in my life is, am I getting results? Yes or no? And if I'm not getting results, it means that I'm not making enough decisions. So the only way we can move forward and stay fully committed is by making decisions and then learning from our decisions. What we're finding out is that every time you make a decision and implement it, you achieve growth in the person you became in making that decision to fully commit. Now, with everything you learned from that past decision, you can make a new decision. If you're always wasting time going in and out, lack of consistency, or not fully committed to the decision you made in the first place, you're going to spend so much time spinning out and in mind drama and questioning yourself and negotiating with yourself and giving yourself excuses and the blame game. And this is why we never get fully committed. It's because we never actually make the decision to follow through on anything in the first place. So think about this. When I first decided to go to Whole Foods, I had a meal plan set up that really worked for the next day, and I had quinoa and broccoli in there, and I think I had chicken or something like that. Anyways, I implemented that for a week, and I noticed that I always felt really bloated. So I learned in that process, okay, these are the foods that don't make me feel good. I know that for me personally, broccoli and quinoa, I can't eat. They don't make my stomach feel good. So what then I can do is I got growth in that. And I took that growth and new knowledge and applied it to the new decision. What am I gonna eat next week? So I used the education that I got from making a decision. Whether that decision ended up being something that moved me forward or not, I used the education I got from that to make another decision. Okay, next week, no broccoli, no quinoa. Instead, I'm gonna do a spinach salad, I'm gonna do brown rice, and I'm gonna keep the chicken. And guess what? It worked. And this is how I started feeling better and eliminating bloat and eliminating all the feelings that come after eating that you don't want to, like that heaviness and that tired and that need to eat again every couple hours. Had I not made that decision, implemented quickly, learned from it, made a new decision, this is how you move forward. So if you're not getting results in your life, I would ask yourself, am I making enough decisions? Am I making a decision, implementing it quickly so that I can get the growth from the result I got from the first decision and apply it to my next decision? So these are the 3 strategies that really change the way I commit and I go all in. And it is because of this that not only myself, but my clients live in breakthrough. And to me, breakthrough means that feeling of achieving exactly what you want. And you feel a shift every day. And you wake up every single morning shifted as a new, as a new version of yourself. That is what it means to live in breakthrough. It is to have an aha every single day. And that feeling is so good, and it really comes down when you get fully committed and consistent. It comes down to really understanding that the faster you make your decisions, the more you believe in your ability to make decisions, and the stronger your decisions are, the better results you are going to get. So when we're talking about that, there's 3 action strategies that I talked about. And the first one is the most important. You need to make decisions from the version of you that has already achieved that goal. What would 15 pounds down me make as a decision in this moment? Number 2, you need to keep it simple. You don't need to know the whole how all the way to the goal. You don't need to know every step. What you just need to know is what is the next decision I need to make in the next step. And then you need to make that, not focusing on the whole path ahead, but where you are right now in the process. And last and finally, implementing quickly so that you can make another decision. More decisions equal more results. And when we have more results, let's be honest, it's motivating. It feels really good. It feels like the train has started pulling out of the station and you're getting momentum and it's picking up speed, but the results come after. they're not what get you going. So if we're relying on results right off the start to get that momentum going, we're going to be frustrated and we're going to quit. What if instead we just made decisions from our future, we kept it simple and focused on one step at a time, and we were quickly making the next decision? We weren't making a decision and then waiting another week to make another decision. What if it was just a really quick process? These have made such a difference in my life, and I would love for you to implement these as well. So here is what I want you to consider. If you are like, yes, that's why I'm not consistent, because I'm always making decisions based on my emotions and how I feel in the moment. And I can't seem to ever stick to anything because I always have to have this plan, and I feel like if I don't know the how, then I can't do it all the way through. Or maybe you take too long to make a decision. Maybe you're always waiting until Monday or until you're less busy, until you have more money. Here's the thing, those days never show up. It needs to start now. You never have more power than you do in this moment right now to change your life. You will never have a longer span of time to make an impact than you do right now. Because if you start tomorrow or if you start on Monday, that is that much time less you have to make an impact on your life. These results that you are going to be getting are cumulative. They pile up, they compound. So the more time you give yourself to create that compounding effect, the bigger results you're gonna have in your life. So don't wait to start. Start right now, make strong, fast decisions, and begin living in breakthrough. If you love the idea of this stuff, I have made a completely free guide that I would love for you to get your hands on. It is something that I created over Christmas holidays after having some time to really think, how can I help you get more committed and actually really achieve your results? So what I did was I made up a guide, and it's called The Commitment Code. It's my code book on what it takes to get fully committed. It goes into a whole bunch of detail, and it's laid out in a way that is actionable, meaning I give you the strategy, and at the end I give you action steps. Take action on this. This is exactly how I develop full commitment so that I can stay consistent. I don't want any more on the wagon, off the wagon. If you would like to get your hands on this guide, you can head to TanessaShears.com/code. You just enter your name and your email and I'll send it to you, and you can get started right away on getting committed. You guys, it is the beginning of the year. There is never a better time than now when motivation is high. We're focusing on change. We're focusing on growth. Let's get committed so that we can achieve everything we want out of this year. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I would be so thrilled for you to give me your feedback on what you've achieved after you've implemented the 3 strategies in the commitment code. Again, you head to TanessaShears.com/code, get your hands on that, and I will talk to you then. Okay.